So we've made the long drive up to a village called Durness, which is a place I know really well because it's actually where I grew up, it's where I'm from. But Durness is up on the northwest corner of Scotland, so it's about as far northwest as you can go before you end up in Iceland. But it's a beautiful area, and one of the things which Durness is particularly well known for is its amazing beaches. So we've come down to one of those beaches today. This is a beach called Ceannabeinne Beach, yeah, we're going to see what we can get down here.
Yeah. The weather yesterday, I'm originally from London, so quite a different place to Durness. I could not get over just how windy it was yesterday. It was so windy that you couldn't walk in a straight line.
Yep.
You couldn't talk, or you couldn't hear anyone talk. It was just insane. And we were thinking about wave photography, but we didn't want to come down to the beach when there was any chance of sand particles being blown up.
Yeah.
Towards the camera.
We've had that experience before of getting sand in the lens. It's not fun.
Yes, it's repairable. You send them off, and Canon clean it all for you at a cost.
Yep.
So today is a lot less windy.
Yep.
So we stand every chance of keeping our camera gear intact.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still some nice waves just out, especially behind my right shoulder. So yeah, we'll see what we can get.
Yeah, often you find the surf is quite high still on a day after you've had strong winds, because obviously the sea swell is still coming in. So hopefully we'll manage to get some shots. The weather forecast for the rest of the day is grey and overcast and cloudy, and which doesn't really lend itself very well for doing kind of sunrise, sunset shots. So that's why we thought today would be a good chance to come down to the beach, do a little bit of wave photography, maybe get some nice black and white images, and we'll see how we get on. So I've got the camera set up with the 400mm lens, and what that's going to enable me to do is zoom right in on some of these breaking waves. So we've got some quite large waves coming in and breaking with, there's a headland just in the background that's called Whitton Head. And I think this is going to make quite a nice shot. I'm going to work with quite a fast shutter speed and quite a high depth of field, so we'll probably be looking at something like f11. I don't want to blur that headland out too much. But actually thinking about it, I might try a couple of shots with a wider aperture as well and see if we can just blur out the headland in the background. But I want these waves to be really sharp, so I want to use quite a fast shutter speed. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I might have to push the ISO up a little bit to get those fast shutter speeds. But yeah, I think these images might work quite nicely. So I'm actually finding at the moment that having an aperture of about f8 is working quite nicely, and with the ISO up to 400, that's enabling me to use shutter speed of an 800th of a second. So using the 400mm lens, I'm finding that that's helping me just to freeze the movement of those waves quite nicely. So it's just a kind of a waiting game now of just waiting for a nice wave to come in and crash, and hopefully get a good image of it when it does. I'm taking quite a lot of images, to be honest. I've got it on the continuous shooting, so I can just fire off a whole load of images as those waves break. And there are some complete nutcases out there surfing as well. I mean, I do like surfing, but it must be pretty cold out there today. But yeah, I am having to take some photos and try and avoid getting those guys in there, but that's fine. Just hope they're having fun and not freezing to death.
So while Sam's been taking photos of the waves, what really caught my eye is the colours in the rocks. So I'll have to look up what's caused the orange pigment within the rocks, but it's really interesting up against the black. I took a while to find a composition, and what I really like is there's a kind of diagonal line of black with orange either side. So yeah, I've been playing around with that. I've got the polarizer on because there's quite a lot of water. It's really wet here in northwest Scotland, so everything is glistening with water on the rocks. So I'm using the polarizer. I'm using the 100 to 400. I don't know what focal length. I think it's about 175 or so. Quite happy with the results. We'll see how much I can really bring out those blacks and those oranges in post-processing as well.
Whilst Hannah was using the telephoto lens, I thought it would be a good opportunity to use the wide-angle lens and a 10-stop ND filter to take this last image.
So I think that's been quite a successful trip. I think we managed to get a couple of photos each out of that, so that's been quite good. It's a bit of a change really coming out in the middle of a day for us, but I think on a day like today it can work quite well. So anyway, if you did enjoy this vlog, then do consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed to the channel already, then do consider subscribing, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching.
Take care.